The courts have been very leery of this provision since it came in. It's only been used a handful of times. And so I think there was a lot of concern about it all along, and I'm not surprised to see it struck down.
The Supreme Court says Canadian judges can't stack periods of parole ineligibility in the event of multiple murders. In a unanimous decision Friday, the court upheld an appeal from the attorneys of Alexandre Bisonnet, the Quebec City mosque killer, meaning he'll qualify for parole after 25 years.
And what the court said is, there's three main goals of a sentencing regime once someone's been convicted, and that is to deter further crime, to denounce the particular crime, and then to rehabilitate the offender. And these stacked parole eligibility periods inevitably meant that these offenders had almost no realistic chance of applying for parole. They were never going to get out of prison.
Since 2011, Canada's criminal code said people convicted of multiple murder could be sentenced to serve periods of parole ineligibility consecutively. Until then, the longest someone could be imprisoned without possibility of parole was 25 years. But the Supreme Court has ruled the possibility of someone being sentenced to 50, 75, or 100 years without parole constitutes cruel and unusual punishment, a charter violation, and has struck down the criminal code provision making that possible.
It denied the possibility that they could ever be rehabilitated, and it basically said that there was no chance they could turn their life around, and they should just stay in jail for the rest of their life. And the court said that was degrading and dehumanizing.
So the Muslim community is still reeling from this horrific attack, and today's court's ruling is incredibly difficult to hear.
The National Council of Canadian Muslims says its first thoughts are of the families of the 6 killed in the shooting and Quebec City's Muslim community. Lena El-Bakir notes Quebec City's Muslim community is not as large as in other cities and still feels the events of 2017 deeply.
There's a lot of pain and suffering and anguish that was caused by this calculated plan of mass murder, which will probably never leave the community. But there's a sense of wanting to move on, a sense to wanting to, put this on the side and continue to thrive, because we're talking about a very, very resilient community, a community that is strong. And this is what we're seeing.
The decision is retroactive, meaning anyone serving those parole ineligibility terms consecutively can appeal to have that period shortened. In a statement, Justice Minister David Lametti says he acknowledges the pain felt after this decision, adding, "Our position was clear. We supported a sentencing judge's discretion to impose a longer period of parole ineligibility where appropriate. However, we will respect the court's decision and carefully review its implications and the path forward." In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.